basically involved, or at least has a eye on this whole, assassination thing. Um, Back in Kirk's quarters, Marlena comes out of the other room, and she's wearing like the sexiest of sexy 60s outfits. Like, it's very 60s. It's like long and flowing and kind of see through, and lots of colors. And yeah, I mean, she's like ready
It's
for
her.
sexy times.
It's her Blanche Devereaux pajamas.
I mean, it really is. I mean, it really is. um, And this is another really interesting insight into her thoughts, and I think their relationship, where she says, "I'm out of practice." And then she kind of spits out this line about, uh, it's so hard to be an officer and shine as a woman, which is so 60s and so ridiculously sexist. But what her line basically boils down to is like, I'm a career woman, so I can't be sexy and smart. That's crazy. Like,
Yeah, it takes away all of the awesomeness of Uhura in this episode.
it does. I mean, we've just been I mean, how we just went on
And
and on. We gushed
also,
about how great she was, and then we get this scene, which is the exact opposite of that.
we have like, the seemingly like white lady who's whining and complaining about how hard it is to juggle work and her fun life or whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised her name isn't Karen.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was gonna say that.
Does she want to speak to the manager next? Like, what?
Uh,
Yeah. She's being a bit of a Karen here. I agree. Um, uh, so basically, in this scene where, I mean, she kind of goes into how they basically haven't slept together in at least a while, because this is kind of where their relationship has like drifted into. They're sort of just together.
I
Um,
mean, how long has it been? I mean, for Kirk, it's probably only been a day or two.
I mean, who knows with Kirk, right? Um, the so they he basically is like, I kind of got to go and do a thing right now, like I can't stay here. And she's like, "Oh, I guess then we're breaking up." And I'm just like, "Huh. Okay. That seems a bit much, but maybe this is something that she's been building to." Um and maybe in her mind, like, this was her last ditch effort to kind of try to salvage their relationship. Um but basically she's like, I'm gonna move out, and she's gonna go stay with this other guy for a while, and she wants to basically leave the Enterprise. She's like, transfer me off the ship. If I stay here, I'm gonna have the reputation of like being your ex. And she basically says she has been a captain's woman. She wants to be a captain's woman again, and she says something like, I'll go through every officer in the fleet if I have to. And Kirk says, you could. And I'm just like, really? Did you have to say that? I mean, and then he sort of like gaslights her into being like, no, I'm totally supportive of you. And I'm just like, oh, I don't think you are, though. I think you're kind of trying to slut shame her. But okay. Yeah, this is a little bit of Kirk being that guy. But
Yeah.
they kiss, and she basically is like, you are like a stranger to me. I don't understand this new attitude you have. You're being all merciful to the Halkins. You're being cool with Spock. You're treating me differently. Like, I don't know who you are. He tells her, you're the captain's woman until the captain says you aren't. So I guess they're still together. That's what I'm assuming at this point. I mean,
Sure.
sure, they're still together. Um, in their incredibly dysfunctional patriarchal relationship. Um, so then Kirk calls Uhura on the bridge, tells her, you've got to, keep Sulu's attention off his security board. She waits for Scotty's signal, and then she basically kind of goes over to Sulu, and she's, she's flirting with him. She's like, oh, I thought we were playing this little game, and you come by me, and I say no, and you're supposed to come back. And Which, by the way, if women tell you no, you really shouldn't come back. So,
Yeah.
just everybody.
This is a very, very 60s mentality.
It is. Unless you're an established couple and that's your thing, that's a whole nother
Right.
story. But if you don't know the lady, if she says no, just go away.
No, Rebecca.
I know. I'm just like ideas about women and stuff. So she basically distracts him long enough to for Scotty to do his thing. And then she's like, I've changed my mind. Sulu tries to get rough with her and says, you're playing a dangerous game. And then she pulls like this really cool looking knife out of her boot. And she's like, yeah, you too, buddy. And and she
And
basically
even
yeah.
before then, that backhand she gives him is so good.
It's great. I mean, she really just like backhand slaps him like bah, like she just really gives it to him. It's good stuff. I do like that, even though we said before, her character was established that she was nervous and scared even to go up to the bridge by herself, but here she is on her own, taking on Sulu to distract him so that they can carry out their escape plan. So and then she's got a knife and she pulls the knife. She's not afraid to use it, and she leaves the bridge and heads over to sick bay. So it's a really, like, in that sense, a really great scene, like showing how strong she is, how tough she is, that she can really do this. So now in the transporter room, Kirk is messing with the transporter pad, trying to get it ready for their escape. Spock comes in and Spock's like, you need to tell me why you've been acting weird since you came back from this planet. Like, you're not like the Kirk I know. Kind of just what Marlena has been saying. Kirk's like, well, if you're going to shoot me, just shoot me. And then Spock basically tells him, you're a tough guy and I get that. But who's not tough is Dr. McCoy. So if I got to get the info from him, I'll get it from him. And I mean, that's a pretty calculated move on Spock's part to basically be like, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt someone you care about, who clearly is not at the same level as you of being able to sort of withstand, like, let's say maybe like, an interrogation. So yeah. So he basically demands that Kirk take him to sick bay, where, everybody else is, of course, already together. In sick bay, Spock shows up with Kirk. He wants answers. And here we get another fist fight. And basically all
so epic.
Fight each other.
Spock just backhanding fools and like so good.
I enjoy the double punch that Kirk
loves
to do, where he like makes he interlocks the two hands and he like makes a giant fist and hits you with it. Like, it's the double punch there. Yeah, there's a lot of fighting. Everyone's trying to attack Spock, and Spock's just basically throwing everybody off. Of course, Vulcan is being stronger than humans. And then there's some kind of a statue in sickbay, and so they.
That was a skull.
Oh, is that what? Okay, I thought it was like a bust of like a person, but it makes more sense it would be a skull. I couldn't tell what it was. So, Kirk knocks Spock over the head with the skull, and he's down for the count.
Bonk.
They get him on the table.
That's the sound it makes. Bonk.
Yeah, exactly. Bonk.
Like this episode is so action packed. I imagine like the little like bubbles popping up from like Batman, the original series of Batman.
Pow!
Right, bang,
Bam.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So Spock's been knocked out. McCoy says, he needs medical attention. If I don't treat him, he's gonna die. So Scotty's like, we've got 15 minutes to get to transporter room and get out of here. And McCoy insists, like, let me treat him. It'll only take a minute. And Kirk's like, all right, you've got that minute. Treat him. Because at the end of the day, it's still Spock, and Kirk doesn't want to see any Spock, die. So Sulu comes in with his guys, and he's like, I'm gonna kill everybody, and I'm gonna become the captain. So he's there ready to like kill Kirk and Spock, kind of make it look like they killed each other. But then Marlena, back in her quarters with Kirk, she's been monitoring everything using the Tantalus field. She uses the device to take out Sulu's henchmen. Kirk and Sulu have a little fight, really, really quick. Kirk knocks him out, and then Scotty is just like, we gotta get the heck out of here already. Like, let's just go. McCoy's like, just go ahead to the transporter room. I will meet you there in 5 minutes. And they all leave. McCoy's trying to finish up treating Spock. Spock wakes up. Of course, he mind melds with Bones to kind of figure out what's going on. But much like not using the Vulcan neck pinch, he does not use the same words that normally, my mind to your mind, my thoughts to your thoughts. He's like, our minds are merging. Our minds are one. I can hear your thoughts.
It's also not consensual mind melding, which is what they usually try and do.
Yes.
He's forcing it upon him rather than making a mutual thing.
Yes, it was not non-consensual, but so, McCoy's face is like, because it is creepy.
Especially with Spock with the beard and that awesome jacket that he has.
Your thoughts are my thoughts, and my brain is your brain, and all that kind of stuff he was saying.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's definitely
and he said merging, and I'm like, oh, why didn't you say melding? It's a mind meld.
Well, this one's a mind merge, apparently, not a mind meld. But basically, Spock gets all the info from McCoy's brain that he needs to know about what's going on. So in the transporter room, our crew is trying to, make their escape here. Lena's waiting for them. Kirk thanks her for saving them, and she basically is like, take me with you. Wherever you're going, take me, to your universe. And Scotty's like, the power is balanced for 4, not 5. We can't take an extra person. She pulls out a phaser to basically, I guess she thought she was going to, muscle her way in to this group. And then Uhura comes out of nowhere, disarms her, knocks the phaser out, takes her knife. I mean, just being a total just getting it done. Yeah, just getting it done. Like, she's just so great in this. Just out of nowhere, like, boom, done. You're disarmed. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It was really great.
It was a great scene. I loved it. I loved that it was just so to the point. Like, disarmed, done. Like, that's it.
No muss, no fuss.
Exactly.
It was almost like, look over here.
Yeah. What's that over there? Yeah. So they're still waiting for
George
McCoy.
Clooney? I don't know.
Is that George Clooney? I mean, I'd look. Where? So basically, they've got 5 minutes left. They're waiting for McCoy. Scotty tells Kirk, someone's cut the power. They're on to us. We can use auxiliary, but that means that somebody has to stay behind and work the controls. Of course, Scotty says, I'll stay. And Kirk's like, no, you get on the transporter pad. And then we do get a rare moment where Scotty calls him Jim. Because usually it's either Spock or Bones will call him Jim. But Scotty almost always called him Captain. But here he calls him Jim. Because he's just like, you're not going to stay here. And of course, it's Spock who cut the power because he wanted to hold them there until he could get to the transporter room and talk to them. And basically, this is that scene that we kind of talked about a little earlier. Spock is like, I get it now. You're from another universe. Hopefully, like, my people will come back from your universe. And this is the scene where, like, Kirk is basically like, this empire can't sustain itself. You be this one man with a vision. You can start a revolution. And at first Spock is like, well, how can I do that? Like, I'm just one guy. And then Kirk tells him, in my quarters, there's a device which will make you invincible. And I thought that was kind of interesting.